I know actually a big Second Amendment advocate, and I know that's still something that's a thing in Brazil.
It is something that we have a lot to talk about that, because what the left wing say, oh, with less guns it would be easier to control, the criminals will have less opportunities to buy a gun in the illegal market. No, that's wrong.
But the notion of, I don't want to call it maybe the Second Amendment because that's the U.S., but there is sort of a strong affinity towards self-defense in Brazil, as well as gun ownership. And that's being attacked by the left as well, right?
Sure. With my father, we changed some of the presidential decrees and some of the laws about the guns to give more access to the people. It's still a lot. You still have a lot of bureaucracy and it's very expensive. But I can tell you easily, we more than double-sized the Brazilian market. Now we have, for us, is a great step. We have more than 1 million shooters registered in Brazil. Mm-hmm. We register in the army the shooters. So it's a market that was, to buy an AR, there was a line of at least 4 to 6 months at least till you get the chance to buy an AR in Brazil. Yeah. We just started with a national production of AR. And on the other side, if you look for example, the murder rate, it came down, it's dropped for
with gun ownership.
34% less. It's not only a drop, I'm talking about 34% less. It's the biggest drop ever in the history of Brazil in the numbers of murders.
And there is I think for those who don't know, Brazil, there's some rough areas, right? Murder rates are pretty high in certain parts of the country. And so that's a huge statistic. 34% drop in murder rate with the increase in gun ownership. Now, I think we could show similar statistics here in America, in places where there's high gun ownership, and yet there's a constant attack, right? The highest crime rates are in those areas with the strictest gun laws and the places that make access much harder, and yet they continue to push that agenda.
It's logical, because the criminal is someone that thinks before he do his crime, he look for the risks and where he has the better chance to commit his crime, to rob or whatever. So if he thinks that you have a gun at home, he's not going to go together. I know that you are full of that. So I would like you to make sure that in Brazil is